live.
Perfect. Welcome to Dirty Fanatics United.
Falcon fans, Falcon Nation, Dirty Fanatics United is coming at you live on Christmas Day. It is your boys from Nephew Chase, Robert, and Phillips here to talk some Falcon football with you. Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe if you're tuning in now. It's your boys from DFU. Philip, Robert, what's going on, man? Merry Christmas to all that's tuning in. Philip, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just having a chill day. Just blessed to be here. Another 23, like a whole 23 years of life. So we happy. There ain't nothing I can't complain about. So just glad to be here.
Yeah. Mr. Robert, it is Christmas Day. I'm so glad that you guys were able to come through and talk Falcon football with whoever wants to come in the comment section tonight and ask whatever questions they want to ask. Robert, Merry Christmas to you, sir. How has your day been? And how are we feeling, man? What's been going on, Mr. Robert?
It's been a great day, a blessed day. Had my kids over. They actually stayed the night last night. This is the first time that, they stayed the night in the new house. And,
nice.
Just guys, kind of remember them in prayers. I mean, this is the first Christmas, since we've lost their mother. And,
Yep.
It's been a tough transition, but all in all, they're doing pretty good. And, we had a great Christmas, great bonding time. Hopefully we can put the Commanders away this Sunday night and clinch that division.
Absolutely. Make it an even better Christmas. Definitely thoughts and prayers to your daughters, Mr. Robert. Couldn't imagine what those girls and your young son is going through. Definitely nothing that I want to experience anytime soon. So definitely prayers out to your family, Mr. Robert. Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Mateo is in the chat with it. First one here says, "Happy holiday, fellas. May Santa bring us a W in Washington." Yes. Absolutely. An absolutely huge game Sunday. Sunday afternoon will tell a lot here for the Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons had the chance to lock the NFC South down. Not just for the week, but officially lock the NFC South down and take these Dirty Birds to the playoffs. The playoff spot is there, and the Falcons hold their own destiny to that. Philip, speaking on the Washington and the Falcons matchup Sunday, Philip, could you give me maybe what you expect to see from this young quarterback, Michael Penix, the guy that had such a great debut? Can Michael Penix continue to have that stellar play that he had week almost said week one, but his debut in Atlanta? Can Michael Penix carry that over to Washington in a cold atmosphere against a stadium that's kind of rocking this year? Which Michael Penix Jr. has always played in the cold. He's from the cold. He's from Seattle. So Michael Penix Jr. playing in the weather, playing in a high playoff atmosphere. Washington trying to clinch a playoff berth as well. Philip, what do you expect to see from the young guy?
I expect to see at least, if not a little bit better than what he played this past Sunday, or, just the same. I'll take the same type of performance he had this past Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
This defense that Washington has, it's not the greatest. We all know that. We know that their offense is what's carrying that team.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
We all know that. So I feel like he's just going to have like another type of game that he had Sunday, but it's going to be a little bit different this Sunday. I feel like I feel like it's going to be a back and forth type of game. Both teams trying to clinch a spot for the playoffs. It's just going to be one of them games. It's going to get heated probably. It's just that type of season, type of game.
It's do or die. It's do or die now at this point in the league. But Phil,
it's going to boil down to who wants it.
I need a touchdown pass from Penix Sunday night.
Oh, I see. I
need one or two.
touchdown.
I don't need what he did the other night. I mean, he did great. He did a good first start to the NFL, but I need more. I need a touchdown, Mr. Penix. And that falls on some of the receivers dropping passes, chemistry as well. So not taking shots at Penix, but
I'll
definitely want to see a touchdown. But yes, a win is definitely nice. But give me a touchdown and I'm happy. Mr. Robert, you heard the question. Washington, a big team, playing for the playoff spot as well. Possibly a team, if you make it to the playoffs and you beat Washington, that's possibly the team that you play week 1 in the playoffs. Round 1, you played the Washington Commanders back to back. So you need to beat the Washington Commanders. And Mr. Robert, how do you think the young rookie tends to do so in a wild environment? His first road game in the NFL, his first welcome to the NFL moment, I feel like, in Washington, a cold atmosphere. Mr. Robert, how does the young cat stand out in Washington?
Well, I think as long as he does what he did against the Giants, I think he'll be fine. I don't think there's really any need to put extra pressure on him. He did a great job managing the game. He was mobile in the pocket, didn't make any mistakes. I mean, like you said, I mean, he had the interception. That was Kyle Pitts' fault. A lot of the receivers dropped, easy passes. But, that first game's out of the way. The chemistry is building. I think as long as he manages the game, doesn't try to force things, he'll be fine. And, like Philip said, Washington's defense isn't the greatest. I mean, if they choose to open it up a little bit, I think it'll be fine. Just got to make sure that our defense is ready for the challenge. Jaden Daniels has had an excellent rookie year. Just got to contain him. And it's a winnable game.
It is a very winnable game.
And, the Washington's had a great year so far this year. And, I'm happy for Dan Quinn. I mean, I appreciate what he did for us during his time in Atlanta. But, Sunday night, he's going to be the enemy. So we got to treat it as such. And, just got to do what we got to do and come away with the win. And, hopefully I think the Panthers play the Bucs. And
Yes.
If the Panthers can somehow beat the Bucs, guys, and you win Sunday night, you clinch a playoff spot for the first time since 2017. Falcon fans, this is huge.
The NFC South for the first time since 2016.
It's huge. It's huge.
Very
and
huge.
Speaking on, what's chemistry, what was it? It was Drake London's mic'd up moments. Him speaking to, just him and his conversations with Penix. You could hear a little bit with Penix and Bijan as well. Like, I think it's getting there,
It's to me, I mean, I'm not saying these guys weren't gelling with Kurt, because you've seen games where they were going for 600 yards. I mean, 500 yards passing game. Kirk had chemistry with these receivers, but it's like these guys are playing with a guy that's their age now. Like, they all are just like, it's like friends in the huddle together, like jobbing
like a backyard
together.
Football type of thing. High school.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like these players are comfortable on the field with this Michael Penix. They know he's got the big arm. They know he can make plays with his legs when needed, and they know he's smart. That's the big thing. They know Michael Penix Jr. is smart. That's why you see him starting the last 3 games of the season when you still had the chance to take a playoff spot in the NFC. Most of the times, when you have a vet like Kirk Cousins, Penix wouldn't have been thought of to get to the playoffs when you still had a chance. Penix wouldn't have been thought of if Kirk Cousins plays decent ball in November. But that wasn't the case, and we all know that here on the podcast. Kirk played terrible the last few months. So Michael Penix Jr. is the guy making that. And Mateo here in the chat says Penix looks comfortable in his first game. Seems he's being studied, like he's studying his team and playbook. Michael Penix Jr. gets his first touchdown in Washington, maybe 2 or 3. That would be sweet.
Oh, yeah.
That would be sweet. Excuse me, guy. Water. Throat break. Mateo in the chat says, and we meet Dan Quinn. Absolutely. That's going to be fun to watch. I think, personally, you got to go on Washington, and you got to get –
you got to stay humble.
I could pull the poster out, but I'm not going to do it. But you got to get Bijan Robinson started. That's from the start. You get Bijan started. We all know what happens when you get Bijan started. And it seems like the past few weeks, Bijan just cannot be stopped. The kid is dynamic this season, guys.
Top 5 in running backs at the moment as we speak today.
He's a different breed.
Yeah.
Bijan's a different breed. And we really struck a diamond when we drafted Bijan. A lot of guys were against it, me included. I loved Bijan as a player he was. I didn't like the spot that he was taken at because of Tyler Algier. Wanted to see Tyler Algier after hitting that 1K, having nobody do that in so long in Atlanta. And then you have that guy do that. But when you see a guy like Bijan Robinson on the board, the talent that Bijan Robinson brings to the Falcons, that's why you draft Bijan Robinson at number 8.
It was just like back in that, 2 seasons ago before, like that draft, that January, we was watching a Texas game. I was like, that's the guy I want. I don't know why. It just struck me. I was like, that's who I want in this draft. And sure enough, I'm glad.
Mateo seems to think Sunday night could be a OT.
Oh, shoot. He got kicked. That's what it is. My StreamYard's acting a little funny, too. I ain't going to. It won't let me zoom in certain things. But, yeah, I'll finish the comment. Believe this could be a shootout game in overtime. Phoenix versus Daniels, Falcons versus Coach. That took us to the Super Bowl 4-1 in primetime games. Sheesh, that is true. That is true.
This remote here has a button right here on the side. And every time you hit it, it sends you straight out the studio. I don't know why that's there, but we've got to get a new mic or a new mouse here on the podcast. But shout out to Mateo. Philip, Robert, Mateo's comment here. Could this be a game where it's just like another 500 passing yard for a quarterback here in Atlanta? I mean, could it be crazy for Penix in game 2?
I don't know if it'll be 500, but, I would in today's football time, you can't put it past you, so you never know. But I will say I do feel like it could be an overtime game or just a shootout, just back and forth. This is on the line. It's depending on who wants it, and seeing Washington play the way they come back against Philadelphia, they showing that they still want this playoff spot.
Yeah,
and we're trying to show that we want to keep our number 4 seed. And, own this. It's just going to be – it's going to get heated.
This is a crazy thing, Philip. Have you seen the fourth quarter comebacks in Washington this year? No. There's over three for sure. Jaden Daniels has led this team in the last 2 minutes to take the dub.
Yep.
There was a Hail Mary.
On Sunday night, I believe.
There was a drive where there was like a minute left. Jaden Daniels takes his team into the promised land, scores a touchdown within a minute. And then this last game against the Eagles, Devontae Smith drops the game-winning touchdown catch.
Yep.
So you take it how it is, and you come in Sunday night, you pull your hair back, you grunt your teeth, and you get in the dirty gritty with these Washington Commanders, and you make sure you walk away. When it's all said and done, you've walked away with every bit of ounce of life you've had left out on that field, because it matters. This game matters. And if you listen to Jake Matthews talk, this game is probably the biggest game he's had since the Super Bowl. And he stated that in an interview, that this game was big time to him. He wanted to make that run. It sounded like to me, guys, Jake Matthews, another year, maybe I'll say maybe not even another year, Jake Matthews may retire from the NFL. So these guys are wanting to make this run, and this is where you do it. This is where it starts, Sunday night. Primetime game. They flex this game for a reason. Michael Penix Jr., it is your time to shine for the NFL and for everybody watching that night, because everybody will be tuned in Sunday night. So it's a big event, man. Robert, what do you think about a high-scoring game, man? Do you think this is a game where it's a tight nail-biter the whole game? It's a low 20-point scoring game. The Falcons did just put up 34 in Michael Penix's first ever starting game. So then again, it was the Giants. But how many touchdowns or how high of a game do you think this is going to be, Robert? Do you think it's a shootout, or do you think it's a nitty-gritty game?
Well, it could go either way. I mean, there's always a chance that it could be a shootout. And if it does get to that point, one thing that I am comfortable with is the fact that, 14 points were put up against the Giants by the defense. Penix managed the game. He really didn't put on much of a flashy show. So I think that that's actually going to be beneficial if it does get to the point where he has to put up a lot of yards and, go to the air a lot.
Yep.
We really didn't see that much out of him. We saw a lot of checkdowns. We saw a lot of, bootleg out of the play action in the pistol. And, he really didn't take very many deep shots. So I think that could work to the advantage because, the Commanders have no tape on that. They have nothing, really to study other than one start where he managed the game.
And see, that's what I like about.
Yeah.
That's what I like about when you're able to come out with Michael Penix like that, and you're able to give a guy easy check down passes, and he still makes it happen. These check down passes, but he knows when to get the ball out. He knows how to get these receivers in line with this ball, and it's like I was watching. I wanted to get this video clip on here for the podcast. I forgot to do so, but Kurt, man, he breaks down the Kyle Pitts situation, and you know what? I'll pull that up when you guys are talking. I'll pull it up even if we get copyrighted for it, but. He breaks down Kyle Pitts' route running perfectly. I mean, he really, really goes in on Kyle Pitts. And Michael Penix was able, even with a receiver that's running sloppy routes, was still able to get the ball 20, 25 yards down the field to Darnell Mooney, Drake London, which had an awesome game as well, over 50 yards on the day. He should have had a touchdown if Penix gets the ball up just a little bit. But what a game for the rookie, his first debut game. So, you're absolutely right, Robert. I think that the deep ball could be something that Zach Robinson and Michael Penix has put into effect this past week to try to make this team dynamic for this long stretch. Because, guys, if you're going to win in the playoffs, you're going to need Michael Penix in that arm. Mm-hmm. I made a post today that it was announced that Michael Penix Jr. would start for the Falcons. I made a post and said, if Penix and Mooney can connect on the deep ball, it will be ugly for defenses. Those two there could be the main reason why you make a playoff push. If you can get the deep ball started with Darnell Mooney, I'm not knocking Drake London at all on deep balls, but Darnell Mooney, the speedster of this offense, the Taylor Gabriel of 2016, if you can get him with the deep ball, Darnell Mooney and Penix and the Atlanta Falcons will be a problem for these NFL defenses.
100%.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely.
Real quick, Wallace Smith is in the chat. He says, "What's good, fam? Merry Christmas to y'all." Wallace, Merry Christmas, brother. Glad for you to check in tonight. Hit that like button. Jay, let's see who that is. That's Jay. What's that? Shep? Yep. Jay Shep is in the chat. Said, "Merry Christmas, guys. What's your 3 keys for the Atlantis to beat Washington this Sunday?" Jay, hit that like button, brother. Leave a subscribe if you haven't already. Glad to have your question here in the comment. And guess what? We're going to answer it right this second. Philip, kick it off, brother.
3 keys for Atlanta to beat Washington. Number 1 is to protect your quarterback. You have to have him clean off the dirt, have a nice clean game like you did last week against the Giants. Mm-hmm. He wasn't barely rushed. I mean, they were blitzing, but he didn't have any sacks. There was no sacks. So that's thankful. Keep him clean. 2, you have to keep Jaden Daniels in the pocket to make him throw. Keep sending people like Caden Ellis or, just certain things like that. And by saying that, you also have to watch out Terry McLaurin. He can get open. He's fast. He can catch. He's good. Do I think he's like top 5, maybe top 10 in the league right now, in my opinion? I may be wrong on that, but I can change that. But he's dangerous. He can be dangerous. We have to contain him as well. I'm gonna keep that on that. But on the offensive side of things, on number 3, let's see. Just like you said, you have to get Bijan going. Without any game where Bijan is not getting and going, it's not a successful game. It's been a bad game. It's not a successful game. Because once he's going, that opens up everything else in the offense. Darnell Mooney, Drake London.
It's almost like, and Jay, we're not going to forget about your question, but Philip, it's almost like these defenses were having to get. I know it's the Giants, guys, the 2-13 Giants. I get it, but these are still NFL players. Okay,
and they had the score that you were supposed to.
Yeah, you actually beat a team how you were supposed to beat a team. That's what stands out to me. People keep saying it was the Giants. It was the Giants. They gave Michael Penix Jr. the easiest game to start. Okay, but you still done it the way you were supposed to do it. Philip, that's a great point you bring to the table. Robert, your 3 keys to success to beating Washington this Sunday.
Number 1, contain Jaden Daniels. This kid's dangerous. He's proven it all year. And one way to do that goes to my number 2 key of the game, ball control. like Philip said, we got to get Bijan going early. We got to get Tyler involved. We got to work that clock. We got to get on some good, long, time-consuming drives that end in touchdowns. Keep Daniels off the field, control the clock, and number 3, force turnovers.
Gotta have them.
Yeah, but that was the key to success against the Giants last week. We had pick sixes from Jesse and Matthew Judon. Got pressure on their quarterback, and as long as this recipe for success on the defense keeps going, we should be fine.
This Atlanta Falcons defense, guys, has something to prove since the bye week, and they have came out with guns blazing ever since the bye week.
And
This is a secondary and a D line that I can no longer be completely mad at because they are the reason you have even won the last 2 games. Let's be for real.
Yeah.
I mean, the 12 points is amazing when you get 12 points handed to you by your defense.
And hear me out on this. This defense is going to be a main factor in this game Sunday night. With how they're playing, that's going to determine.
Well, let's put it like this. Jaden Daniels, and I may be wrong. I'm thinking it's 2. It may have been 3, but Jaden Daniels just came off of a 2 to 3 game interception game. He had 2 to 3 interceptions that game. Was it 3? But guess how many touchdowns the kid had? 5. Okay, so this tells me Dan Quinn and this offense coordinator believes in this kid's arm. So secondary, Jesse Bates, my guy, Justin Simmons, Richie, wherever you at, Richie. I need Clark Phillips III. I need this secondary on lock Sunday because if you can lock that down and get in this Jaden Daniels face,
Terrell.
if you can get Jaden Daniels ruffled up, because I've seen Georgia Bulldogs do it, baby. I've seen them pick him up by his throat and hold him up in the air, in the bins, in the air. You remember this, Robert? You remember this?
Jalen Carter.
Pick
him up like a rag doll.
Straight pony. So Falcon fans, if you can get Jaden Daniels ruffled, if you can get pressure in his face, if you can get Caden Ellis home, that's the recipe to success, Jay. Get Caden Ellis home Sunday night. That's how you win in Washington. Get Caden Ellis home. That's one recipe to success. Okay, and then I'll go with the second one. I said it earlier in the show. You have got to get Bijan established early. But get Tyler established as well. Don't just work Bijan, and then make it so predictable when Tyler Algier's out in the field. Because I've seen maybe 2 snaps in Washington where Tyler and Bijan were both on the field. And, of course, it was a handoff to Tyler because Tyler had maybe 6 rushes the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why can we not get those 2 running together? Why can we not get that dynamic duo started here in Atlanta? Who knows? Maybe that happened for this playoff push. Who knows what happens because you have a young quarterback now, and you want to rely on those star makers like Bijan, like Tyler, Drake London, Mooney, all these guys to make Penix even more comfortable in this Atlanta Falcon offense. So that's your 2 keys to success. My 3rd keys to success. Coaches have to do their job. Zach Robinson cannot be calling bullshit play action plays when we don't need to run them. He can't call pistol when we don't need to run pistol. He can't call a screen when we don't need to run a screen. Whatever the situation may need to be, Zach Robinson has got to figure it out against these Washington Commanders because this game matters, dude. This is the most important game you've played all season. This one here, if you win it and Tampa somehow loses to those Carolina Panthers, you signify the NFC South and a playoff spot. Falcon fans, we going crazy if that happens Sunday night.
Oh yeah,
we run a podcast 24 hours if we clinch the playoffs. Man, hit that like button, man. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, man. We're glad to have y'all here tonight. Wallace in the chat said, "Win by any means necessary. This is another must-win game, no matter what." Absolutely, you have got to come away with the W because if they do lose this game, if you lose Sunday, let's talk about it, guys. If you lose Sunday against a high-flying Commanders team, let's be for real, this team's legit. If you lose Sunday against the Washington Commanders and Tampa wins, Tampa takes the division once again. All right, if y'all both lose, then the Falcons obviously stay in first because they have the tiebreaker, and it goes over to the last week of the division. Falcons versus Panthers, Tampa versus Saints. That's not what you want, Falcon fans, because the Panthers have seemed to have close games with the Falcons, and I don't know why. and maybe that's not the case this season. But you want to win some because you don't want to rely on other teams. Because remember those 2 weeks, guys, we were relying on other teams to do their job, and they just could not do it. And then now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finally lose to the Dallas Cowboys.
We
the Falcons
finally got
are back
help
on
for
top.
once.
You're back on top. So do not ask for help from anybody else. Control your destiny from here on out. Win by any means, as Mr. Wallace Smith said here in the chat. Wallace said our defense have been playing much better since the bye week, and they need to continue this on Sunday night.
100%.
Got to
the
have.
key. In my opinion, defense is the key to this game. It's going to control pretty much a lot of what's going to happen.
Jay
And I have
Shippen
faith in
said like and subscribe. Jay, we appreciate you, brother.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Just for that, Jay, you are entered for the chance to win a pair of Apple AirPod Pros from my other co-host, Cody, that is not here. Jay, I will add you to the list. That is 4 people entered right now, Philip, Robert. 4 people entered for the chance to win. Get somebody to subscribe here. Subscribe if you're new, and you will be entered for the chance to win Apple AirPod Pros. Wallace Smith in the chat said they might need to rotate Malone in more to have more speed on the edge and to keep Daniels from getting to the edge. That's what I like about Malone, because he has the speed, and you've seen that against, who was it? No other than Desmond Ridder. They played D'Angelo Malone a lot that game. That's when he was noticed. That's when he started getting pressure. That's when he started getting back there. He got the sack.
After that, they rotated him in, and then he contained him the entire game.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right, Wallace. I mean, that's what I hope Jimmy Lake sees. Jimmy Lake's got to do his job as well. You got to have a nice scheme when it comes to this
They
offense.
even stated that they were going to rotate them in more, going to give them more playing time. So I'm for it.
Hey, and shout out to Jay Chevy says, I'll be at the game repping for us. Hey, rise up, brother. A-Town down, baby. Give them hell. Jay Shep said, this would have been a great game for Troy to play. If so, we can get him as a spy on Daniels. Troy Anderson, man. What a disappointment this cat has been for injuries. I mean, I love Troy Anderson. I was huge on the Montana kid. He was a dog coming out of college. He was this versatile piece that could play anywhere on the field, quarterback, receiver, linebacker, running back. Troy Anderson, but can he stay healthy? The pectoral injury last year, coming back this season, still landing on the IR list to finish off the year. It's just not looking good for Troy Anderson, man. I don't know if he'll continue to be a Falcon after this season. I could be wrong, but the linebacker spot is probably your weakest position right now. So that's really what they're going to dive into, I think, in this free agency and this draft when it comes around. You've got to figure out this defensive linebacker core, and you've got to figure out maybe a little more pieces at the edge, or maybe get me another DT because, I mean, I've seen Rook a couple of times. I've seen Braylon Trice a little bit, but not enough to say that I'm comfortable with the depth we have here in Atlanta. So that's a whole nother conversation for another podcast. But, Jay, definitely a great comment there. Troy Anderson is a nice spy when he's healthy and on the field. Absolutely. Absolutely. Falcon fans, hit that like button. DFU is bringing you live content on a Christmas night. Wednesday night, man. Christmas special. For those that did not know, yesterday was the boy Amit's birthday. Shout out to Philip, his 23rd birthday. Shout out to the little bro, man. Shout out to that. And Falcon fans, I have some big news for you because the Falcons are breaking not only a chance to clinch the NFC South and the playoff spot, but the Falcons are also possibly breaking records here in Atlanta, being the first receiver duo, which is Drake London and Darnell Mooney. Drake London being 22 yards away from 1K, and Darnell Mooney as well being 45 yards away from 1K. 2 players to break 1K here in Atlanta, the first receiving duo to do so since Julio Jones and Roddy White in 2012. Falcon fans, this is huge because now you have found your receiver 2 in Atlanta. And the stats show that. That should be your first signing when you go into the offseason. Darnell Mooney should get extended. That's your first signing. You do not let him test the free agency. You move on with Darnell Mooney. That is 100% a fact. Philip, Robert, your thoughts?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, he's proven his worth, over and over again all year long. I mean, it'd be crazy to let him walk. It was like after we went to the Super Bowl in '98, Dan Reeves didn't want to re-sign Tony Martin.
Yep.
And, we wind up with Sean Jefferson coming over from New England. Nowhere near the same caliber player. I mean, And, we've got this young quarterback coming in now. I mean, the chemistry that can be built, the dynamic, explosive offense that we could have here, it's scary, boys. We could have something special here.
That's what amazes me because, guys, do you remember when the Eagles, do you guys remember when the Eagles beat us back in 2017, took it all the way to the Super Bowl on the backup quarterback, Nick Foles?
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody knew what this guy was capable of in the playoffs. Took it all the way to the Super Bowl and ended up winning the thing. That's what excites me about Michael Penix. Could Penix be the first rookie to ever win 2 to 3 playoff games here in Atlanta? Could that happen here in Atlanta? That's what excites me. That's what excites me about Michael Penix Jr. If you make this playoff run, what could happen for these Atlanta Falcons? What could happen?
You're talking about the game where they were number 1 in the whole NFC, Clinch first seed. They were the underdogs. Yeah.
Yep.
That day. Yeah. Fuck them.
Chase Grunner in the chat said, rise up. Shout out to Chase Grunner in the chat. He said, big game Sunday. Huge game Sunday, bro. Huge game for these Dirty Birds. Wall Smith said, I think they will break that on Sunday night, and they don't have to re-sign Mooney yet with him on a 3-year. Is he on a 3-year deal?
I believe so.
I thought she was just 1 year.
Shout out to that. Well, I didn't know that. If he is, fuck yeah, dude. That's a hold on. We'll hit the sound bar for that one. That's hit the Google with it. I mean, Wallace is pretty straight on with that. So if that's right, man, that's what you call it.
3 years, 39
Badass. Okay.
Badass. That's huge.
3 years, 39 mil.
Mooney is right here. Mooney was a huge pickup, 3-year, 39 mil. That is absolutely right. Mooney now. See, I did not know this, guys, and this makes me look bad on the podcast. Fuck it. Oh well. I said 1 year. It's whatever. But
I just remember Tampa fans talking shit about it.
Well, see, now you don't have to worry about it because you have your receiver 2 for 3 years now, for 2 after this year. But I mean that's great. That's great to see. I'm glad that's the situation. You don't have to worry about spending money on your receiver 2 because now you got him locked down for 2 more years after this season. So that's definitely nice to see. Falcon fans, hit that like button. We're getting ready to close up this thing on out because we ain't got but fucking what 30 more minutes. It's 9:30. It's about bedtime for me. It's been a long day putting the swing set together, putting the trampoline together. I mean, we just been busy all day on the off day. So Philip, give me your shout outs for tonight, brother. And once again, Merry Christmas to everybody in the chat. We're so glad y'all were able to tune in with us tonight.
Shout out. Hold on, I was eating. Shout out our Lord and Savior, man. It's been a blessed day. It's obviously his birthday today, just like it was mine yesterday. So he got me through 23 years of life. So shout out to him, man. We're gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna keep doing this, and we healthy. We feeling good. Feel my youth roar.
Shit.
So shout out to that. Shout out to that.
That guy just hit a Katy Perry lyric on us.
No, buddy. No.
Messing with you, bro.
Wait, what?
But shout out to you boys for being here tonight. I wanted to do it last night, but we were a little bit busy yesterday, so it makes sense. It is what it is. So shout out to y'all for being here, man. Shout out to everybody that did come in and shout out to what's his name, Jeff? That's his name.
Yeah, Jeff Shep. Shout out to Jeff.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff for subscribing, liking, and gonna be there at the game Sunday. So make them, rep is good. Man.
Up.
But I don't know, man. I'm kind of lost right now.
Mr. Robert, shout outs for tonight, brother. Phillips, I think he ate an edible the other night. I don't know.
The other night, no.
Shout outs for tonight, bro.
Rise up, baby. Rise up.
Shout out to our Lord and Savior on his birthday. He just continues to bless us and continues to guide us, and just nothing's possible without him. Shout out to you guys for letting me be a part of this. As always, it's an honor and a privilege. Shout out to our viewers. Thanks for coming on tonight. It's Christmas night. Appreciate you coming and talking Falcon football with us. And, of course, shout out to my family, Brianna, Peyton, Zach, and Christy. I love you all. Rise up. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Well, Chase was the Grinch.
Shout out to everybody from DFU, man. Glad to have y'all here in the podcast. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you're watching this video after the live. We're glad to have everybody that tuned in, man. And once again, without you guys, we do not have this podcast. Giveaway on the podcast. That's why we had these giveaways. Subscribe for the chance to win a pair of Apple AirPod Pros, courtesy to my guy, Cody Keeler.
Apple iPad or whatever you want to call them, AirPod 2 or something. I don't
know. They're new. They're like the new brand.
I think it's the
newest of the new, man. Get a subscriber. You and the subscriber is entered for the chance to win. It's free. All you got to do is subscribe. Why not do it? If you're watching this podcast, why not do it? I mean, it takes like 5 seconds. Click, subscribe. You're entered for the chance to win. Falcon fans, hit that like button, man. We are getting ready to get up out of here. Once again, shout out to my co-host, Philip Avitz Claus, my guy, Robert, a.k.a. Mega Biff, and my guy, Cody Keeler, that was not able to make it tonight. Philip Wallace Smith says, great show and happy belated birthday, Philip. My birthday was this month as well. Happy belated birthday, Wallace Smith.
Birthday, Wallace.
Appreciate you.
Shout out to all the live viewers, man. We appreciate y'all. Once again, shout out to the big man upstairs, man. I was able to provide presents for my babies under the tree this year. I was able to have a great year, have a great 2 days off, spend time with the family. It's life's a blessing, man. I can't complain. Shout out to everybody that is a Falcon fan. Yep, back to work tomorrow. Vacation is over with. Vacay is over with. So, Falcon fans who is returning to work tomorrow, man, safe travels. A lot of crazy, sleepless people on the road tomorrow. So, definitely be careful out there on the highways. Once again, shout out to the Falcons and shout out to Michael Penix Jr., man. I got high dreams in this kid, and I think he's going to be something special here in Atlanta. Once again, thank you. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe. DFU is out of here, man. A-Town down, rise up. We appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace.